Hey guys, Mike here. So, oh boy, what a day in the market. And I guess those volume bars I showed you last night actually meant something. It says, oh my goodness, we gapped up huge overnight in the futures, opened up. I mean, today was one of those days you just look at your portfolio. I didn't even try to trade it. I already had some calls coming into it and let them ride, sell, and be done because it just kept going and going and going, right? So this is a day where what's happening? Shorts are squeezing, but what did we talk about last night? What could you not anticipate, or you can't predict it, right? What was going to come out of the administration? Okay, Friday, we got a little nibble of it, okay, when they were saying, okay, I guess maybe there's going to be some flexibility going on here. So that was the key word on that one, okay? And then Sunday comes out, key word was going to be targeted, okay? That will be more targeted, more narrowed down. You're like, okay, oh, this is good. And today, as it keeps going up around lunchtime, what the Trump administration put out? Oh, well, maybe we'll give countries some breaks when it comes to these tariffs are going to put out, these reciprocal tariffs. So then that, again, the narrative changed on tariffs. All of a sudden, the market was like, yay! So, does that mean going forward, they're not going to put something else out tomorrow? Maybe. You just don't know. I say you can't predict. It's a roller coaster up and down. And the market was already, as we showed you, right? Set them lower, higher and low right there on the shorter term time frames, trying to build out. You just needed some kind of spark. You say, oh, well, get me going, Sparky, okay? And so we'll go through and we'll look at what other boxes do we check off for this rally? Is it got legs? Does it mean something? It could. It very much could, but there's something else that happened today, which I'm going to be watching like a hawk. And I know the administration, I would think, if they're serious about it, is going to be watching like a hawk as well. And it's very important. And I also go over, obviously, Tesla stock was the stock of the day, up like 12% or some crazy mess. And so we're going to go into, obviously, looking at the S&P, what hurdles we got next, what can we see going on here, the Qs, Tesla, NVIDIA, a few others. But I also go over this woman. Man, this person right here, I'll give them an applause. They didn't pull off the biggest heist in the world or anything like that because they were appointed. But this is the unluckiest person I've ever seen. I mean, the unluckiest person I've ever seen. I'm sure you will agree when we go over this. But I always thought I knew what the best job in the world was until I saw this one. This is the best job in the world. You cannot beat it. There's no way to beat it, okay, especially with the compensation this person is getting. Oh, it's amazing. And anyway, we start off here, guys, on the SPX. You can see we closed above the 200. On the SPY, closed above the 200 as well. Okay, now, does that mean we're out of the woods? Absolutely freaking not. Doesn't mean that. But we'll go back over here. What does it mean, though? We're checking boxes, right? Okay, 5-day moving average, curling up, check. We talked about this. For those who are new, you don't know what I'm talking about. 200-day moving average, close above it, check. Got that one. What else do we have to have? Got to start having, and again, it's kind of like a small check because we got to see if we're going to retest it and hold up. What was the other one? Get the VIX below 20. Hopefully it'll stay below 20 now. Got all the way down to 17. Need this thing like 16. So that's supposed to be a check mark there. So check. Okay, so those are good things. What else we got to start focusing on? And again, that's what I said. Once we get below 20, usually you start to see a nice little precipitous fall right there. We'll find out. I don't know. But again, if it gets like 16, you can start having some sustained rallies, okay? And that's really the key about getting the VIX down. But, are we in volatile times? Sure, of course we are. So we're not going to be surprised. But right now it's been coming down. Hopefully it will stay down. When you come over here, what else are we looking at? Well, we got to get above the gamma flip line, positive gamma territory. This right here will change. Changes every day. I'll let you know where it's at. Got to get the CTAs back in here, covering their shorts, okay? Again, like I told you, they're not going to be the bottom callers. They're going to be the trend followers, okay? 50 moving average and then 20-week moving average. Both are very important, especially watch that 20-week because you can see it. When we get above that 20-week, bro, it is party time. It at least has been over the last bunch of years, as you can see on this chart. So that's a big one. That's way up there, though. So, again, this is just level by level, playing these off. You can see the 50 as well. It's going to be important. But the biggest thing is going to be holding the 200 tomorrow to see if we can hold it. Or are we going to come back below it, come back up, retest, and fail? That's going to be the big one. We do have this gap right here. It does not mean it has to fill. I'm a greedy son of a gun. I like structure. I would love for this to come back down and fill that gap. That would be nice. Again, is that going to happen? Probably not. When you look at the volume here, we talked about this yesterday. I mean, obviously, huge volume bar there. And then, of course, not so much today, but again, decent volume. The same kind of volume you saw the last few days. This is a big move up, right? Probably going to have to be digested. Shorts recovering. There's no doubt about that right there. Voluntarily, some probably forced into it on certain stocks like Tesla, for example, with a double-digit move. Maybe even AMD as well. But again, I always see something like this. That would be nice, maybe overnight. fill that gap, and then try to test the 200 again and see if we can break through it, turn in support. That would be nice. Does not mean it has to happen. Remember, gaps above feel a lot more than gaps below. But we'll find out. But we do know this. Hindsight being 2020, these are all the dark pools that rolled in. Look at the times, 412 after the market closed on Friday. I mean, it just millions upon millions, large dark pool orders coming in. And now we know what they were doing. Okay, so QQQ here, we said, this weekly fair value gap will definitely be the draw. We got above and closed above that trend line, which is good. We'll see if we can hold it, of course. Still got the 200 to test right there. And so this is what we're going on the Qs. It really needs, the Mag 7. I don't know if you noticed, some were participating, some were not. And so this will be something to watch out on the Qs, and it's going to depend obviously on the Mag 7 way more than the S&P for sure. Now, this one has a gap too, so we'll see if we're going to come back down and fill that or not. And when we talked about this consolidation right there, that's what we were talking about, right? When you get the consolidation, usually it's going to lead to a big move in one direction or the other. Today just happened to be to the upside. But the thing to watch is that 10-year. 10-year is up over 2%. And you've heard the president talk about it. You've heard his administration talk about it till we're sick in the face about that 10-year because they got to get the borrowing rates down. So if this thing starts to break out, continues up, will they let this happen? Or will they start changing their tune? Okay, because it makes no sense to try to do all that to beat this down and then just let it go back up if that happens to be the case, because we have like strong economic news. We got the PMI out today. The flash PMI for services is way higher than expected. Manufacturing has always been in the toilets. Nobody even cares about that. But the services were way higher than expected. And then when they heard the news on the tariffs, the 10-year spiked too. So that's what we got to watch. Now, Tesla, talked about that volume bar, big time, huge day today. And what it was, how does Tesla move? Those calls, man, those calls just kept flowing in by the millions. I mean, just flowing all day. And even when you thought it was finally going to, I know some people were trying to short this, probably midday because it was up so big. Once it got 10%, you get a slight pullback and then bam, it will take off again. The calls will start flowing back in. And there you go. So that's how, of course, how Tesla moves. That's why you look at NVIDIA. NVIDIA had calls rolling in, but nothing like Tesla. Nothing like Tesla, right? And so you look at Tesla, you see the volume increasing 3 days in a row right there. I said if it got above that trend line, it was probably going to go, and there you go. So it went. Didn't get to the 200, didn't test the 200 yet. So we'll see how that's going to go tomorrow. Again, you're going to have to absorb a 12% move. I mean, good Lord. And so that is a huge move to absorb. We're going to see if they keep flying in. I actually heard, I'm going to pull this up. That's your 5 days. You got curling 5 day, not quite above the 200 right there. But when we look at this one, obviously, that's going to be your first test. Anywhere from 280, 282, right there to see if we get above it. And you can see, I mean, anytime it's got above the 200 retested it, it's took off, right? So that's what you're looking for. And if that happens, then you can see this thing go. You see how it moves, right? 300 is going to be on the blocks for this one. I know it's shocking. And again, we're running this trend line over right here, which will about line up with that thesis, if that is the case. And to the downside, I mean, you just got to hold that 214 and 220 area. That's really the key. And we'll see if that's actually going to be the bottom or not. But what's crazy is this right here. I saw this last week. It just came out on Friday. And it says Tesla may be tanking, but Robin Denholm, I think I said that right, is winning. Must handpick Tesla chair has made an incredible $682 million since 2014. And I guess he handpicked her in 2018 when he was forced to step down following some kind of settlement. And so he handpicked her. She lives in Australia. But this woman right here makes crazy amounts of money for a chairman of the board. She's already sold roughly $532 million worth of Tesla shares. She sells like she literally has some kind of disease and ain't gonna be around tomorrow. She averages like 100 to 150 million per year. And I mean, it's amazing to see. And what's crazy is this woman is the highest paid chair of any public company in the United States. And she was an accountant before. And she lives in Australia, so she don't even live here. And I'm like, but congratulations to her, man. I mean, that is crazy. To give you an idea how crazy that is, Apple, who is one of the most successful companies in the history of the world, their chair makes like $500,000, which is a lot of money. Don't get me wrong, but the dude is a CEO of a company that Google owns, right? I mean, that's what usually chairman of the boards are. They aren't accountants. They're usually very well-to-do off people, successful business people, right? And I tell you, she's put her money hard to work, though, man. Bought like I think 2 professional basketball teams in Australia, 4 different companies. She's the chair of multiple other companies. it is insane. And I don't know how much she's worth anymore because there was a lawsuit filed by Tesla shareholders back in the day, and the board had to pay like $277 million back. So I don't know what she had to pay back. But I mean, like I said, her average, the way she sells shares is insane to me. I mean, I don't blame her. I'm like, hey, do your thing, secure your stuff. But she's well ahead of her average right now because in the last 5 weeks, she has sold 75 million Tesla shares. Girl, you still got 9 months left. Like, seriously, she got plenty of shares to sell, let me tell you. So she might set a record. It might be 200 million this year. Because over the last 12 months, what did she sell? I think I read, don't get me wrong on this, it's like 150 million or something in the last 12 months. Like, she books it. She's like, as soon as they give her those shares, she's like, and as soon as she can sell them, they're out the door, man. Because, like, I don't know if she just feels like, hey, they may cut me tomorrow or something, but I'm going to get my money. But it's crazy. If she stays around 4 more years, the pace she goes with compensation, she will be the first person in history to ever become a billionaire just off being the chairman of a board. Like, she doesn't do anything else with Tesla. Just what I could find, if you can find something else, let me know. But I couldn't find anything else because she's so busy in Australia with all her other stuff. But yeah, she'll be a first billionaire just as the chairman of the board. That is amazing. I don't know. Let me know if you knew who she was. I didn't know who she was, but I'm sitting there going, that's what I say, luckiest person I've ever seen. Congratulations to her. And to let you know how crazy it is, most, like, especially Mag 7 companies, as Tesla's one of them, like NVIDIA, Meta, and I want to say Microsoft, the CEO is the chairman of the board as well. But Meta and NVIDIA, obviously, those two founded their companies. And when you look at their compensation, because they're the CEO, you would expect them to make crazy amounts, and they do. But when you compare that to what she's making, it makes no sense. You can't even wrap your brain around it. It makes no sense how CEOs who are both the chairman, the CEO, and the founder, that she would be in the same ballpark as them when all she is the chairman. I mean, it's crazy. But congratulations, good job to you. Good job to you. But let me know in the comments, like, did you even know who that woman was? I'm curious. And if you got any backstory to it, please send it to me. Let me know. I'm just curious. Now, AMD here, big winner today. And it was funny when you look at other semiconductor stocks, like this was the one that's moving. The rest of them barely moved, honestly, when you really look at it in the overall picture. And here we are. Again, once we broke that trend line, we've moved up. That 114, 116 should be a good area of resistance. I don't have the 200 weekly pulled up, but it is. It did regain its 50. The 200 moving average is so far up there. Don't even worry about that. It's like 140 right now. So that's way down there. And so we'll see if this is going to hold. But it was funny when I was looking at this. I'm like, man, you go over and you look at Avgo. It's the 9th highest weighted stock in the S&P. Look at that. It didn't do anything really, right? And you start going through others and you're just like, wow, man. I mean, it wasn't any kind of news I found, but I mean, it just proves how beat down AMD is. Because remember, Avgo's been holding up well, right almost 200. Look at MU. It's green, nothing major. Taiwan Semiconductors, decent day, gapped up right there about 3%, which is a good day for Taiwan Semiconductors. And then you go to like NVIDIA, 3% mostly all day long. So AMD definitely had his day finally. And again, like somebody, like I said, he's trying to change his name from the Advanced Money Destroyer to something else. Somebody put one in the comments I thought was a good one. It's Advanced Money something. I can't remember what it was. And so we'll see if shareholders finally get some relief out of this one. And, NVIDIA is one of those ones. I told you, it has a death cross. Don't start selling it as a death cross. It's up 6% since that death cross happened. But again, if it continues to move up, that weekly fair value gap, where those moving averages are, will be the target, and we'll see. I mean, does it get above the 200? Do we get rejected at the 200? Because again, semis right now, they just really need more flow. I don't know, they're just hated compared to a lot of other tech sectors right now. And so we'll see if that's going to be the case or not. And that puts us right there at that discount, that 50 fib. So, and somewhere near that trend line. So that'll be an interesting area if NVIDIA can actually continue to move up there. And then going through a few others like Palantir we talked about. We said that week of fair value is going to be the draw. Boom, mitigated today. So we can take that down now. What's above it? Another one. And we talked about Palantir, how well it was holding up. This one, remember, never touches 200, let alone go below it. I mean, this one was really held out. It has a huge, huge following. So, I guess that shouldn't be too much of a surprise. So we'll see what happens when we start to get up into a discount area. If this continues to move up and everything. And that weekly fair value gap would also be a draw, which would put it between like the 0.5 fib and the golden pocket area. Somewhere in that area. But again, when I looked at this first, I thought, is that an inverse head and shoulders? But when I look at it, I just don't see the inverse head and shoulders, guys. I'm not even trying pulling this up and trading view, and I don't know. Let me know if you see it. I don't see the right shoulder there to coming down enough for me to call that an inverse head and shoulders. I know some people are, but if you like that, do what you got to do. But right now, we'll just mark out the other weekly fair value gap. That should be a draw if this continues to go up. Again, I like for the gaps to fill as they go, but Palantir is kind of his own little thing. You know what I'm saying? And you got that gap right there on the daily. Do you see it? It's probably going to end up filling that gap right there between 97 and 99. So watch out for that. Hims is another one we talked about. Got to his 50, got rejected at the 50. Kind of started off slow, but ended up I think it was like 8% for there or something like that, which is really kind of a small move for him, to be honest with you. But it's held up, right? It consolidated right there, turned that resistance into support for now. And this is one of those ones that can move. Big retail stock. Okla's another big retail stock, up 15% today. Got to that trend line, got rejected again. So multiple rejections at the trend line, but it was a big move up. So a lot of these are big moves, and we're just going to see how the market absorbs them, right? We're going to see if we get any more tariff talks coming out. We're going to see if the 10-year continues to push higher, and the administration goes, okay, whatever, all that work we did to get it down, we'll just let it go, and we'll refinance government debt at a much higher rate. I mean, that's just what we got to see right here. And when you look over here at what's going on tomorrow, there's no red folder news really rock the market. You do have CB consumer confidence, new home sales, and then Richmond manufacturing index, but no real news that should rock the market at all. And so like I said, it's going to be all about the administration, or they just stay quiet now, right? That's what we got to look for. Personally, if I see the 10-year start to go down and the market's going to head up, I think they're going to either come out with even better news or just not really say anything at all. The biggest thing we got to find out is April 2nd, if we do reciprocal tariffs, like any form of reciprocal tariffs, is that going to be a sell the news day? Or is the market going to be like, oh, and then right around the corner where we got earnings season is going to start kicking up for the big boys, right? With the banks and everything, and the guidance is going to be everything. I can say right now, I've seen this so many places. The consensus for a lot of people besides Tom Lee is, of course, we knew this rally was coming to get a rally up, right? And then April 2nd be a sell the news day, come down, set one more low, and then take off. That's kind of what a lot of people are expecting. So don't be surprised if you see that. But, again, I just say keep it simple and watch the 200, see how the market reacts when it gets there, the Qs, the SPY, SPX, all that good stuff, and how the volatility is going to be right now. Because one thing I found interesting was, I put in the morning news brief for members, is that, like, European stocks, they were red today. Chinese stocks, some of them were green, some of them were red. And remember I told you, to have a sustained rally, do we need some of that money to start flowing back over here? That's because they've been, those stocks are up huge. Eventually profit taking may take place, and if it does it flow back here? That's the big question, okay? So anyway, hope you got something out of it, guys. Please hit that like, subscribe button on your way out. Think about signing up for that membership. Less than McDonald's combo, that's everything you get with it. And I'll see you guys tomorrow for another fun one.